Hi, I'm Katie Sullivan, and this is my informational speech. Have you ever watched a marathon and thought, those people are crazy, I could never do that? Well, you're a little bit right. We are crazy, but you might be able to do it. I'm a tortoise, but I still have 3 marathons, including a Disney Dopey Challenge under my belt. Although only 1% of the population will complete a marathon, it's not restricted to elite runners. Even if you've never run a 5K, crossing the 26.2 finish line is an attainable goal. First, I'm going to talk about the history of the marathon. Second, I'm going to talk about reasons why people choose to train for a marathon. And third, I'm going to tell you some awesome and some not so awesome things you can expect during training. Let's start at the starting line, the very first marathon. According to Hugh Jones, in the history of the marathon, the inspiration for the modern marathon happened in ancient Greece. In 490 BC, Phidippides ran from Marathon to Athens, Greece, to deliver a message of victory over the invading Persian army. He immediately dropped dead. The marathon was brought into the modern world during the first Olympics in 1896. On March 15, 1897, the Boston Athletics Association held the very first storied Boston Marathon. According to BAA.org, visited on July 19th, Boston is the oldest continuously run race in the world. It was interrupted twice, once in 1915 because of the war when they held a military relay, and more recently in 2020, there was an at-home version held because of COVID restrictions. The race will return to its normal date and place in 2022. According to Marathon Woman, Catherine Switzer was the first woman to officially complete the Boston Marathon, opening running up to women across the globe. In 1967, Catherine put her name as KV Switzer on her race entry form and did not indicate a gender. Race official Jock Semple was so angry that he physically tried to remove her from the course. The men running with her surrounded and protected her, allowing her to complete the course in 4 hours and 20 minutes. Now, we know a little bit of the history of the race, but why do people run it? Well, Catherine ran it because she wanted to prove women could. We're not delicate creatures, and we won't be physically damaged. 8-time marathoner Marion Sales ran her first marathon at the age of 32. It was when she was diagnosed with asthma and her doctor told her she would never run a marathon that she decided she would, because she doesn't like to be told what not to do. She's currently training for her 9th race. In an informal Facebook poll conducted of the group running around Plymouth, members had various reasons for running it. Some of them said simply because the race is there, why not do it? Others said that marathon training belonged completely to them and aided in their mental health. Christina Johnson, kindergarten teacher, ran her first marathon for charity. There's nothing you won't accomplish for something you're passionate about. Now, overwhelmingly, these runners said they returned to the race because of the feeling of accomplishment that they received. Now, you could have possibly found your reason for running one in that last little bit. But let's talk about what you can expect if you do run one. First, you'll be setting your alarm for a lot of 4:30 a.m. wake-ups. However, you'll see so many gorgeous sunrises that you might start to look forward to them. You'll also gain an entire new group of best friends. The people you run with form incredible bonds and lifelong friendships. And often, you will receive a beer at the end of the race. It's going to be the best beer you've ever had in your life. But if we're talking about post-run drinks, you should know you're going to have to drink pickle juice. After a 20-mile training run, you need to chug it to replace your lost electrolytes and prevent some serious cramping. You'll also get to gorge on pasta and bananas. Hopefully not together, but you will need the fuel from the carbohydrates to get through the ridiculous amount of cardio and strength workouts that you will complete. And finally, you will have ugly feet. But you will be so proud of those ugly feet. You'll brag about them. Blisters and lost toenails are badges of honor among marathoners, and we share them with one another. But you'll have a collection of sneakers and medals that make it worth it. So now that you know the history of the marathon and why some people choose to run a marathon, and even things to expect during a marathon, you might decide that you are crazy enough to push yourself to greatness. Just remember, if you do run a marathon, you will always be able to say, I ran a marathon. I can do anything, including giving a speech about running marathons.